Do you want to be in a thumbnail? Do you want to be in a thumbnail? Hi. Yeah. Look at the pretty camera. Say hi. Okay, I'm sorry. Hi. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Sarah and this is my week in review. This was a pretty good week for reading, all things considered. As usual, I will start with my DNFs. The first thing I DNF'd this week was Ensnared by Tiffany Roberts, which is a writing duo of a husband and wife. I picked this one up because I thought it looked like it would be, I don't know, a fun alien romance. It started off really good. I liked the male hero is a spider alien, but I just found myself feeling kind of once the female heroine was introduced. I'm sure there was probably a lot that went into her and the way she was written, and she was a good character, but for me she just didn't click. I think I got about 125 pages in and I was just like, oh. So I DNF'd that one. It was a KU book, so no big loss. That was the only thing I DNF'd though this week, so that's still pretty good. I got a lot of manga done for the 30 in 30 manga challenge. I'm very happy about that. So let's knock those out quickly. I read the first 3 volumes of Delicious in Dungeon. I was a little worried about this one because it's an older series. I heard about it years ago. I think her channel name is Maya Reads. I could be making that up. I will link her down below. She doesn't post as many videos as she used to, but she really enjoyed this series several years ago. So I finally found it on my library's online lending service. So I checked them out. Very, very fun series. The whole premise is that a party wipes out early in this dungeon, and before they completely get killed by this dragon, the party healer teleports all of them but herself out, and she gets eaten by a dragon. And in this dungeon you can go back and retrieve the bodies of your comrades, and they can get resurrected. So they want to go back and get her, but mainly her brother wants to go back and get her, but he's broke. Their equipment is barely hanging on and they have no money for food. So he and a couple of his compatriots decide to go back into the dungeon and try to figure out food as they go. And along the way they meet a dwarf named Senshi, who lives off the dungeon, and it's about how they learn how to eat the dungeon monsters, which is fantastic, especially some of the ideas they put forward. I'm going to use those in D&D. In fact, my finally going to get to actually play a game instead of run a game this weekend, and my DM is going to hate me when I try to use the holy water trick that they used in volume 2. So it was fantastic. There's a cat right here. If she jumps in front of you, the camera, I'm very sorry. But it was great. I really liked the take that they, what are you doing, Minnie? I really liked the take that they did with a lot of the monsters, like the living armor, the mimics. Very good. If you enjoy fantasy monsters, D&D, dungeon crawlers, anything like that, I highly recommend it. I then read Comey Can't Communicate Volume 12. It's the same Comey, same formula as every other volume, but it was very sweet. It was another beach episode, and there was actually an interaction I really liked between Tadano and Mobongo. I can't remember how to say her name, where he basically saves her from a group of aggressive boys. That was very good. The series is just a comfort read for me at this point. I just really enjoy it. It's got some very weird stuff in it, but like the girl who wants to be Comey's dog. But for the most part, it's just a fun, wholesome kind of read. I know some people don't enjoy it, but for me, it works. Finally, I read all of Chainsaw Man. I know I said I probably wasn't going to, but I did. I read volumes 3 through 11, and then the few chapters that start the next big arc of the series that's out on Viz that's not actually published yet. And I guess I'm a fan now, but like in the weirdest, most begrudging way possible. This series is batshit insane. I don't know who I would recommend it to. It is everything that I said it was previously, but it moves at such a quick, fast pace. It's very readable. As far as manga goes, it's not incredibly dense at all. It's mostly art and action. There is just enough dialogue and exposition so you know what's happening, but for the most part, it's just art and action. The characters it's brutal. If you don't like manga where people don't die, you would love this. If you like manga where the cost is high, then this is going to be the one for you. I can count on one hand the amount of people who survive into the second arc, and it's a low number. It's a low number. I really liked where it took the whole idea is this boy, he's 16, he becomes bonded to the chainsaw devil, and then gets recruited to hunt down the gun devil, which is the big antagonist of the first arc. And I enjoyed the way the gun devils was portrayed. We only really see the gun devil like 2 or 3 times, and when it appears, it wipes out hundreds of people. It can wipe out like almost an entire like side of the country in a couple of seconds. And because it doesn't really talk, it doesn't have much of a personality, it's just there, boom, gone. I think in an effort to instill fear of the gun devil, the artist, I can't remember his name, the artist and author, took the time every time the gun devil appeared to write the names of the victims that the gun devil takes out. It was heavy because it felt very much like the lists you see from school shootings and stuff. I don't know, I thought I couldn't quite figure out why he did that until I got to thinking about it, and I was like, that kind of makes the impact more felt, and I really liked that. I'll see if I can find a picture of a panel of that happening and insert it. But Santa Claus is in it. Not what you would expect. Yeah, if you want something that's absolutely insane and off the wall, and yet that's gonna be a series for you. But if you don't, just stay away. Definitely stay away. It does get heavy too. It does get heavy. Think that's all the manga I read. So to the actual novels, I finished Presents by Ben Alderson-Day. This was an arc, I believe, from St. Martin's. So thank you to them. I will have a short out and a full review on the blog, and shorter reviews on Instagram. For this one. It's a very interesting nonfiction about the idea of the presence, either the ghostly presence or the spiritual presence, whichever one you might have it, and where that comes from, the possible medical cause for sensing a presence, or what people believe the spiritual cause may be, faith-based, that sort of thing. And he just looks at the different ideas behind a presence, like a being over your shoulder, or people speaking to you in your head if you hear voices, that sort of thing. And I felt like he did a pretty good job. He mostly focused in on the medical side of it, and I can't speak to the medical side of it, any kind of experiences there, but he did an interesting job of looking at it from the actual people, the hearers of the voices, that sort of thing, from their perspective, people who see things. He interviewed those actual people instead of just talking to specialists, which I thought was a good idea. The third person presence that like you will see in extreme cases of survival, or in accidents, which is something that I've experienced, which is interesting. It was interesting to see that looked at, what could cause that. It was a very, very fascinating book. It's very quick. If you like nonfiction, if you like niche topics like that, highly recommend it. I went from that to a middle grade, indie middle grade, called Spine Shivers, A Grin in the Dark by J.A. Drake. I heard about this on Jordaline's channel, and it was like a one sitting kind of read. It's a Goosebumps, but scarier. Yeah, I'll call it that. I missed Goosebumps as a kid. I read one, and it was one of the prank books. It wasn't actually a ghost book, and it made me so mad I never read it anymore. But this was scary. If you don't like clowns, don't read this. So I'm going to say, a little boy is babysitting his twin cousins, and there's a clown. It's very creepy. There's a clown in the house. That's all I'm going to say. It's creepy. It's real creepy. I then read another arc, episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. This was an experience. I liked the first quarter of this, and then after the first quarter we get our first big like spooky moment, and then things kind of went downhill. how do I say that? I'm just gonna say, this felt like House of Leaves light, diet House of Leaves, if you will. I did not enjoy House of Leaves. I adamantly hated that book. I read it cover to cover with my husband. We read the stuff online, you know, we looked at all the puzzles, we read the footnotes, we read the secondary story, we read the whole thing. Then we went through and we read a lot of the stuff online that people talked about, the solutions to things, the thoughts. Still absolutely despised it. And I know that it's kind of an unpopular opinion, but it is what it is. Hate that book. This felt very similar to that. Once you get your early spooks, the spooks hit really early, too early enough that I was like, this is weird. And then after that, it becomes a sort of, not a house within a house, but there is a place beneath the house that appears and they get lost in it. And that's all I'm going to say as far as spoilers. And it wasn't badly written. I actually quite liked some of the characters. Some of them I hated, which you were supposed to, which was well done. So Craig DeLuey knows what he's doing. He's a good writer. But for me, this just wasn't fun. And it wasn't, I ultimately didn't find it interesting, the topics he was trying to address. So giving this one like a 3, I wouldn't recommend it unless you were a hardcore House of Leaves stan, and then you might enjoy it. Like I said, it's like diet House of Leaves. It is written similarly too, in that it is scripts from raw footage, descriptions of hot sheets that this group sent into their production company. I didn't summarize it. This is the story of a TV show called Fade to Black, and their final episode of the season, they go to this haunted institute where in the 60s or 70s, a group of researchers were attempting to foster paranormal abilities in normal humans, and they all disappeared. And since then, this institute is supposedly extremely haunted, one of the most haunted places in the world or in America, and they go and spend the night there in an attempt, it's a paranormal investigating show, they go in an attempt to solve and find the answer to these hauntings. And this is the footage that's left for people to find, and somebody has compiled it into this book. All fiction, of course, but it is presented as if it's like faux. It's faux nonfiction. But it was. I wouldn't recommend it. Like I said, unless you loved House of Leaves and want a shorter, quicker, easier read that's a similar in theme and tone in the end. Otherwise, it's a miss. Finally, I read Hollow's Grove by Lee Jacquot. I think I said that right, maybe? This was quick and easy. I wanted something fun to read after finishing episode 13, and this was fun. It's a best friend's brother romance. He's had a thing for her pretty much their entire lives, but she's either been too young or she's been with someone and now they're adults. There's like a 3-year age gap, and they are helping the said best friend with a work event, and he finally makes a move. Like I said, really quick, I read it in an afternoon, laying on the couch, so it was good. I think I heard about it on Izzy's channel, and I think I'll pick up more from the author. I really liked it enough that it's going to be one of those things where she's probably someone I can read and enjoy her work. But that's it for the reads for my books that I've obtained. It's a lot this week. I got my 3rd copy of Legends and Lattes. This is the UK hardcover edition with the artwork on the end paper. I wasn't gonna get it, but my husband told me I should because we both loved it. So now we have the self-published edition, the traditionally published edition from Tor, and this edition. So a small collection of those books. The 2nd volume of Rooster Fighter came in this week. I'm extremely excited about this. This series is very silly, but it's very fun, and that's going to be a good brain break. And the final not the final 2, but besides the other short story collection, the final 2 new Witcher editions came in. This is Season of Storms and The Lady of the Lake. These are absolutely stunning. I adore the artwork on these. and the new colors and everything. I have the whole series over here off camera. I cannot wait to get these up on a shelf. They're gonna look so nice together. That has been pretty much where all of my book budget has gone this past fall, is to those new editions. And then I was a naughty person and went to the bookstore for a I needed to get out of the house kind of day. I hadn't been out of the house all week, which is normal for me, but I needed to get out that day. I was just fed up. I picked up Titan by Nozaki. I don't think this is a light novel, but it's from Seven Seas. It's a translated science fiction novel from Japanese. The author of Babylon and Hello World. It sounds very fascinating. It is in a world where society has not abolished, but eliminated the need for, sentient workforce. Mental health problems have been solved, things like that. People don't really work, they have hobbies, and this woman is a hobbyist of psychology. She becomes a therapist to the AI that runs the world, named Titan. I don't know what that means, but I read like the first chapter and it sounded interesting, so I picked it up. And then finally, The Husky and His White Cat, Shizun. I am not going to attempt to say the author's name because I know for a fact I will butcher it, because I have tried many a time to learn Chinese, and I am too Southern American. My accent butchers it. This is a Donmei, again from Seven Seas. I don't know much about Donmei. I want to get into Donmei. I have one of almost every series that's currently in English from Seven Seas. But I have yet to dive in. I was thinking about doing a vlog. Anybody interested? This is a cruel tyrant. Tassian Jun is killed on his way to the throne. And now reigns as the first emperor of the mortal realm. Then I think he is killed and reborn in his former body, and it is his rise to, cruel tyrant Taishan Jun killed his way to the throne. He wasn't killed on his way to the throne. He killed his way to the throne, and he reigns as the first ever emperor of the mortal realm. And then he is killed and is reborn in his younger body, and it's his rise back up to power in the different way that he does it. Basically, he relives his life again. I have heard that the trigger warnings on this are kind of intense though, so I'm going to take this one slow. I think I'll probably start it soon. I want to start it when I finish the Path of Deceit book, which I'm still reading. I have not finished. I got caught up on manga. I'm not gonna lie. I read those like 8 volumes of Chainsaw Man over the course of like a night, and then I was kind of in a slump. So I'm still reading Path of Deceit. I am still working on Witchful Thinking, and my current arc that I'm reading is It Rides a Pale Horse. It came out last month. I just honestly forgot I had that arc and didn't get to it, and I'm already enjoying it, so hopefully I'll report back on that next week. But that is it for this week. Here's my kitty cat. I will be back next week with another week in review, and you will hopefully see a short or two from me in the meantime. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you've been reading, if you've read anything good this week, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye!